Hello and welcome to this off-season update for the Colorado Eagles as the equipment sale just about to get underway here in the Eagles locker room this weekend. Chance to get some of that game-used merchandise that was used during the 2017 ECHL Kelly Cup Championship run, as well as some great Kelly Cup Championship merchandise. But right now, what we want to do is get you an update of what's going on with the Colorado Eagles as the season just about 6 weeks away. Happy to be joined here by Eagles President and General Manager Chris Stewart, along with Eagles head coach Aaron Schneekloth. And Coach, we'll start with you. A short off-season, but that's a good thing. Yeah. That means you did a lot of successful things. It's been a lot of fun. But how does that change the recruiting process, if it does at all?
Well, you know what? It does put a little bit of a gun to your head as far as getting that done sooner than what has been done in the past, because you kind of got a little bit of a layover. When you do get knocked out early, you spend some time going through it a little bit more. Whereas now, you know, you got to get on your horse a little bit sooner, get ready to pull that trigger just a little bit quicker. Again, we tend to shoot with a rifle, not with a shotgun. We want guys specifically that are going to be here, but, you know, you got to make it work right away, because you don't have time to, you know, maybe put in as much effort just scouring and having look-sees. You've got to make firm decisions quicker.
Well, and again, the focus is not just on having won the Kelly Cup. You want to win it again this year, and that is the focus, and the page is already turned towards that.
Well, I mean, to step on the ice and not want to win in the championship would be silly. You have the wrong people in place if that's what they're looking at, if they're just satisfied with making the playoffs, or they're just satisfied in having a better season than what they had last. I think the goal is to always win a championship, and, you know, there's a lot of people that have had tough teams and tough goals over the years, and teams that have never won championships and very long story histories, but they weren't able to win. And, you know, you see that turnover in people when that happens, and we don't want to see that here. We want to continue to do well, but we want to continue to win championships.
And Schneek, some great news already for fans, and that is the signing of some really key pieces, not only of that championship run, but key pieces of what you want to see as a run again this year. Guys like Matt Garbowski, a guy like Lucas Hafner, Jake Marto, a tremendous role player like Ryan Harrison, who did so many things for you last year. What does that do in just setting up those cornerstones, that foundation?
Yeah, I mean, obviously those players made a big impact for us last season, and we feel they can continue to make that impact not only on the ice but in the community for the Colorado Eagles. And it's a great foundation for the start, but we've got some exciting new players that we're looking at and that are going to sign with our team and make us better and give us that chance to play for the Kelly Cup again.
And that really is it. You're going to see turnover every single year. It's just the reality of it. Whether you win a championship and everybody wants to take a look at what you did so well and maybe try to get a piece here or there that they can find. But again, there's a lot of interest from players that see it's a winning culture and they want to be a part of it.
Well, you have to understand that, absolutely, that players are not in here on long-term contracts. They're in here on short-term contracts, and contracts that last 24 hours for some, and for some maybe 3 or 4 years. But at the end of the day, they are short-term contracts. They're re-signed every year. So when a player can make a move that he feels is going to benefit him, whether it's monetarily or it's going to benefit him career-wise, and he decides to make that move, then so be it. In some cases, we decide to make that move because we feel that, you know, we need some more youth, or we need to add some more depth, or whatever it is. If we're going to win another championship, or we're going to vie for another championship, we have to make sure we're always on that cutting edge, and that's not easy to do. And what I mean by that is, when you part with players, there's a lot of players you leave that, you know, a little piece leaves with you, because you love those guys after a while. And, you know, whether they've been here for 6 months or 6 years or whatever it is, they've all come in and they've done something that has helped you as a coach or a general manager or a play-by-play guy, as you know, that, you know, you wish them well. You hope they do turn out to be great individuals, and they're have a long life and a very successful life. But it's hockey's a short business for everybody. It really is. It's tough on the players. They know that when they come in, they have to make the team every year, and when they make that team, it may be in a different role. I mean, some guys have to come in one year as a big-time goal scorer, and in a couple of years they're just going to be third-line checkers. But that's just how it is. You have to find a way to be adaptable. If you want to be in the mix every year, you've got to be adaptable.
And Coach, you touched on this, is the fact that every year there are tough decisions, and in this league, there is a veteran rule, and there is a maximum of 4 players that you can have, and you have to make tough choices. Give fans some insight, if you would, on that process. And again, every year you have players who entered the last season as a non-veteran and they exit as a veteran. So again, things change, faces change, but how does that process work? Because you are hamstrung to a certain extent.
When it comes right down to it, I believe, Schneeks, and you'll agree with me here, obviously, that we want the best players we can put on that ice, without a doubt. And we listen to people, we bring in the best players we can. If we end up with 2 veterans, so be it. If we end up with 4 veterans, as we generally do, so be it. That's great. But we want the best players that we can get. From the goaltending out to the forwards, we want the best players we can get. We recruit like that. We realize that we can't bring in everybody that we want. We've got a salary cap we've got to stay within. But we need to get in the best players that we can. And when we bring these players in, now they have to make the team. So remember that, Kevin, that we have players coming in from last year's team, inevitably, that will not make this club. They made the team last year. They helped us win a championship. I know we've got loyalty. Yeah, we do. Without a doubt, we've got excellent loyalty here. But the fact of the matter is, we always want to contend for that championship. And if we're not willing to make those tough decisions, then we're in the wrong sport. We're in the wrong positions that we have to be in, and be willing to make those hard decisions that sometimes really they cut like a knife, and it hurts. And you make those decisions again based on the fact that you want a contending team, so you fill the building, so you have a business, so you can provide an opportunity for the players to play, and that's how it goes.